Sup, you chucker fucks? It's your boy, Dark Raku here with the What If. Issei had the 10 shadows and curse manipulation. Or mostly curse spirit manipulation. I don't know why I keep skipping the spirit thing. But not the point. I was going to say, sup, you fucking monkeys? It's your boy, Suguru Gato. No, I don't know why that was in my head for a second. I was like, man, should I say it? No, I shouldn't. But yeah. Since someone did tell me to stop cussing in my beginning of my channel, so I might just go up with mostly Suguru Geto's kind of personality. Keep saying that, which yes, probably should. Just like one time you ever comment saying, "Can you stop cussing in the beginning?" Sure, monkey, I'll stop cussing. No, just kidding. I won't. Now, if you don't mind me, I'ma shut the fuck up and start with this what if, because it's part 4. Other than that, nope, not part 3. I made part 3 yesterday. I know it's short, but I didn't care. Now, if you do not mind me, I'm going to begin into this what if. I'm going to shut the fuck up. I'm also going to go try to begin into the what if my first channel. But yeah, also sorry for not recording anything yesterday. Dante was too tired. He just texted me like at 11 saying good night. Like, okay. Which, yes, I knew that mostly I was taking a little too long. That's just because I was just like trying to get my phone charged and other shit. And yeah, not gonna lie, I didn't really have my phone charger anyway. Reason why is because I forgot my charger at home, and mostly in school I was just like, shit, I should really keep my phone on percentage so it doesn't die on me and blah blah blah. You get the point. But yeah, so other than that, let me just begin into this what if. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. But yeah, but we begin into mostly, well, Issei. Issei is right now just seeing the teacher teach, mostly the first teacher, the first day of the teacher. She's a new teacher, and just where, well, she managed to finish what she was explaining about, and of course half the students in the class are still lost. Issei understand, while mostly Matsuda, he was over here a little bit confused, but not stupid enough confused, because Issei was giving him dumbass notes and literally showed in how mostly all of them explain, because mostly Issei is kind of the homie. Kinda. He sometimes is the homie, sometimes he's not, but you get the point. This is where, well, mostly Scarfish says, okay, I will give everyone, not a quiz, only the 2 people that I specifically said. This is where, well, every other kid was breathing in happiness that they weren't the ones kind of going to fail the test, because none of them really understand what exactly happened. Scarfish was only doing this pretty hard, mostly making this explain really hard for like others and even Issei and Matsuda, to see if she would actually fail both of them. The only reason why she was doing this is because she didn't really like Issei's attitude. Issei's attitude is quite mostly somewhat brutal and doesn't care. Now she has heard that mostly he went to jail but didn't go to jail. She didn't understand why the human race didn't actually put Issei in jail for the whole massacre and what he did. Now, she has also seen Issei before in the raiding games between Sir Orcus, and the fact that he has some giant creature named General Maharaga beating the shit out of a sacred gear and almost was about to kill Sir Orcus with a blade called the Annihilator or whatever the fuck it was. She can't really remember. This is where, well, but she can understand that Issei's skill in weapons. He's really skilled in weapons. But of course, this is where, well, she then gives the 2 tests towards mostly Matsuda and mostly Issei. And this is where Issei, he finishes it so quickly. He literally just writes on it and just like, because there was only 5 minutes of class left. And this is where, well, mostly other students were kind of talking. And yeah, mostly the teacher just, mostly Scoutfish let them just talk or whatever. Just still be enough quiet for mostly the other 2 to kind of hurry up and finish this. Now, she didn't expect Issei to literally finish in 2 minutes and just give the paper to her. This where, well, mostly she says, oh, so you're giving up already? Okay, fine. I'll grade your test just to see if you get a 0 or maybe you get like at least a 25%. When she starts grading it, her eyes just widen. Issei kept up with her speed. He literally kept up with mostly her speed and explaining. He also explains in all the basic rules about like the equations and other shit, because this was like math feature or whatever. And this is where, well, she was just shocked. She was literally shocked to the core. Like half of this, she even used different languages and she tried to confuse him because she can feel that he's not longer a devil. Yes, Issei is no longer a devil. He took out his demonic pieces, but Issei still understands so easily. Issei kind of just like looks at her, and of course, where mostly Scalfish also noticed some notes that Issei left behind. He's saying, "So you messed up on this, you also messed up on this, you also messed up on this, but don't worry, I actually here to explain it, because it seems that you are not the smartest to explain something like this, that, this, or that." This is what pissing off Scalfish. But of course, she then kind of smirks, thinking that mostly this kid is actually a genius. A genius, but he's still quite brutal and doesn't seem to care too bit about most of the other people. So, of course, mostly his attitude and personality might be a little difficult to kind of understand, but with mostly his smart and genius intelligent side, he seems to be quite smarter than half people kind of give him credit for. This is where, well, the bell was about to ring until the door opens and it says, "Yo, Issei!" This is where, well, it's actually mostly Kazutora kind of just waving his hand into the kind of mostly classroom, which Scalfish is confused, but I heard that this kid was also the one that kind of got arrested, but it seems that he's also fine. But she can actually feel a very dangerous aura from him. Even though it's not really directed at anyone or directed at mostly Issei. Well, I mean, it is kind of directed at Issei, but it's not directed to anyone else. His aura reminder of one person and one person only. Well, two people, but one person that kind of has this very dark, malicious aura. And that is an evil dragon named Crom Crutch. Now, of course, she is confused, but then realizes that this kid's hairstyle and mostly eye color is kind of similar to that of Crom Crutch. His hairstyle is black and yellow, but she thought that was just dye for a second. Maybe that's actually his original hair color. This is where, well, he has yellowish eyes, with one actually being kind of shown. The other one is kind of underneath his like black and yellowish hair. He does have a tiger kind of tattooed near his neck. And this is where, well, he's kind of just having this friendly smile. Now, of course, it looks like a friendly smile, but truly she doesn't understand too much about Kazutora. But this is where, well, mostly she's kind of narrowing her eyes at Kazutora. But this is where, well, Matsuda kind of gives his paper towards mostly Scalfish. And this is where Scalfish was surprised that he also got a passing grade. He might have missed one question, but that was just because he was confused in that very, very last question. Because mostly he said that he didn't have enough time to give him notes. But yeah. This is where, well, mostly Scalfish says, "I see. Well, it seems that you two passed and won't need to go to the principal's office. Have a good rest of your day." This is where Issei gets up and Matsuda. This is where Issei grabs Kazutora from the collar and says, "Motherfucker, what are you doing? What are you doing here?" Kazutora says, "Oh, I managed to get out of my classroom, so where are we going next?" Issei says, "Next is English class, and not gonna lie, I'd rather ditch that class in an instant. I don't want to deal with what they call Mr. What's it called?" This is where, well, Issei says, "I do not want to deal with Sensei Aikio for fucking English class." This is where, well, mostly, Kazutora says, "Akio? Oh yeah, I had him first hour. Not gonna lie, I had him yesterday, but I think that, I don't know what happened, but I think he got fired or something." "What do you mean got fired?" There's a new teacher there." Matsuda says, "What's a new teacher?" Because Matsuda's walking behind them. This is where, well, Kazutora says, Who are you?" He says, "Oh, don't worry about it. He was the one kind of helping me jump the shit, math teacher yesterday." "Oh, that's cool. Sup, my name is Kazutora." Kazutora, mostly he does say his last name. And this is where, well, mostly Matsuda kind of just like dab him up and says, "Matsuda, I really haven't thought of Matsuda's last name. But, mostly his last name is Matsuda, well, his name is Matsuda Inferno." Well, yeah, that's his last name. This is where, well, both of them dabbed each other up, but yeah. But this is where, well, mostly, Kazutora says, "Other than that, I gotta get to class. Next class is gym class. And not gonna lie, I beat the shit out of everyone yesterday. They tried to gang up on me because of how I was a new student. I looked kind of cool in mostly girls' eyes until I beat the shit out of half of them." This is where mostly Issei chuckles and says, "Good luck with that, I guess. Hope you don't massacre another group today or whatever." "I don't give a damn if I have to massacre another group. Piss me off and they die." Good to know. This is where, well, both Issei and mostly Matsuda kind of gets towards the English teacher class. And this is where, when they walk in, it's a beautiful kind of, well, mostly mostly female teacher. She has mostly what they call. So when they walk in, there's actually 3 people in that classroom. One person's actually the teacher. She has like long white hair with kind of like these mostly dark purplish eyes. This is where, well, she also kind of has this palish skin, but not much. This is where, well, she's wearing like a teacher outfit, similar to that outfit, but not much. It's kind of seducing somewhat. While mostly the other 2 are actually somewhat teenagers and kind of go inside the classroom. Well, mostly seems to be either her daughters or whatever. They can't really fucking tell. One has kind of like mostly whitish hair with kind of bluish eyes. And this is where, well, she kind of has the same kind of palish tone of skin near like the older lady. But this is where, well, she kind of just like mostly near her eyes, kind of slicked a bit, mostly seeing the 2 male students, the 2 of them who actually got here early. And it's mostly, she kind of just like seemed to have this very strange aura to her, but yeah. The second one is kind of a girl with kind of blackish hair, kind of orangey eyes, and this is where, well, she kind of has mostly, what's it called, palish skin also. This is where all 3 of them are narrowing their eyes at mostly the 2 male students. This is where Issei looks at them without a care in the world and just fucking walks into into the classroom while kind of being followed behind by Matsuda. Now, Issei is hearing a song called mostly, yes, he kind of did put on earbuds and he's hearing a song called. So the song he's hearing is called "Stronger Than My Storms," made by a civilian soldier. But yeah, he's literally just hearing that while walking into the classroom, sits down on his chair, and fucking just lay his head down, waiting for the others. While mostly Matsuda sits down and just getting his phone and just kind of looking at something. But yeah. But this is where, well, we go into mostly the teacher sweat dropping, but this is where, well, she coughs into her hand, and this is where, well, Matsuda looks up and says, huh? Yes? This is where, well, the teacher says, you 2 are for the 2nd hour. Yeah, I know that. But you 2 came early. Yeah, because we left classroom early. Now, if you don't mind us, we're gonna wait 6 minutes here until we'll see the others come. This is where, well, mostly the teacher sweats off. But this is where, well, Issei's already a fucking slave. Now, this is where mostly the dark-haired female kind of noticed that who exactly Issei is none other than the guy who basically summoned out this giant thing called Maharaga and beat the shit out of Sir Orcus and his sacred gear, mostly Rigorous. Now, Rigorous is one of the stronger Longitis, but yet got defeated by mostly General Maharaga, because it seemed to be able to just adapt to the techniques of people, and was able to overpower them with the strength and power that he had. Now, this is where, well, mostly Issei's asleep right now, but this is where, well, the mostly dark hair beauty was actually walking up to Issei, and actually wanted to touch his face. But this is where, before anything happens, a pencil was almost launched into her eye. If mostly Issei didn't stop, Issei says, "What the hell are you doing? Don't touch me." This is where, well, Issei pushed her away, because he only grabbed her from the, mostly like the, shirt of the collar, because, well, you had to pull in closer. She was actually not afraid, but mostly she was surprised that Issei would kill someone if they actually annoy him when he's asleep. This one, Matsuda wasn't phased too much. He didn't care too much at all. This is where, well, making all 3 of them kind of know that they're kind of 2 strange humans. But yeah. But of course, we go into a time skip of mostly a bunch of students coming inside. Now, this is where, well, some of the male population was saying, yeah, we don't have fucking Sensei Acho. Hell no, we have this beauty with us. And there's 2 new beauty transfers. And this is where a bunch of guys are going wild, even Murahama. But this is where, well, Murahama noticed that Matsuda and Issei did not care one fucking bit. Like, literally, their personality went to a 180 and just became different. This is where, well, mostly, the teacher says, I should introduce myself. My name is Lilith. Yeah, mostly my name is Lilith. I am your new teacher for mostly English, because the other one kind of got fired because they're actually kicking out the male teachers just so none of the incidents will happen in the near future. Those incidents that mostly the math teacher did yesterday. Or, yeah, this is where, well, mostly the female students nodded. Now, of course, the female teacher says, I think there's two male students or will be not male students, 2 male teachers that will be left in the school because the other male teacher from the gym class has been fired and replaced by another person. Do not worry, she's a female teacher. And this is where the girls are now relieved, but yeah, because they thought that mostly they thought the gym teacher for like the gym schedule was kind of creepy, but yeah. This is where, well, mostly Lilith says, also, these 2 girls are right into your classroom are actually my daughters. This is, mostly she points at the dark-haired beauty known as, well. So the dark-haired beauty is named Tsukihi, while mostly the other one is named, Seka. This is where, well, mostly both of them bounce down while all the guys are going cheers up and cheers, hell yeah, and yeah, you get the point. While Issei is still asleep, it really does not care. But yeah, the teacher decided to teach English, but noticed that mostly Issei doesn't really pay attention. So of course decided to think of giving him a quiz later, which Issei just passed and just walked out. But yeah, she is shocked. He seems to be quite mostly like it looks to be a talented like kid who doesn't really pay attention. He's more like a delinquent, but he does pay attention. He just doesn't care too much. This is where, well, mostly she then says, I see. So that's the Red Dragon Emperor. Or supposedly the guy who beat the shit so orc as well using the boosted gear. He's actually cute. This is where, well, mostly she's actually becoming more flirty. This is where, well, 2 girls, mostly the 2 somewhat daughters says, Mom, stop being so flirty with guys. This is where, well, mostly the succubus queen say, fine. I wonder how Scalpage even deal with him. This is where, well, they're mostly talking, but this is where Issei walked out, went to his other classes, and when it came to 6th hour, because it was gym class, he meets a beauty known as, well, mostly. So, mostly, is this dark-haired blue beauty who kind of has like these bluish eyes that looks quite cold. The guys are happy, but there's other new girl students, mostly to the mix of the gym class, which some of the female girls kind of get along with some of the other girls, but yeah. But of course, the lady known as SDEF kind of says, we're gonna play dodgeball. And if the guys gets eliminated, they'll all get kicked out of this classroom. This is where the guys go, shit, we gotta try. We can't let this whole situation go down. This is where, well, the guys are now motivated, but yeah. This where the female, mostly teacher, just looks disgusted at the male students. Of course, she did notice Issei, who looks like uncaring boredom, who literally is hearing music in his ears, did not pay attention one fucking bit. All he understand was getting kicked out. Shit, say less. Like, this man was about to fucking start walking out of the classroom. But yeah. The song is called Down, made by a cult to follow. But this is where, well, Issei kind of just like was about to start walking out. This is where one guy actually grabbed him from the collar and says, where the hell do you think you're going? If we lose this, how are we going to look at the babes here? This is where, well, mostly Issei says, touch me again and your arm is going to be snapped into 2. Actually, no, fuck being into 2. It's going to be snapped far beyond anyone able to heal it. Now, let go of my collar before I rip your arm off. The person says, yeah, you don't scare me. I heard you were the person that beat the shit out of a bunch of people. Yeah, I don't believe that. You're easy healed. This is where, well, the guy didn't get to finish that sentence because he got dropped in the 19. Basically, he kind of looked like, was it Kai Taiju when Mikey kind of just says, that was just, it wasn't Ka. I was only there for, yeah, you remember when Mikey kind of just like grabbed the necklace and it's like mostly neck. And of course, he was just there because at church, blah, 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 I forgot what he said. But this is where Mikey just dropped Taiju. But yeah, that's what he did to fucking this guy. This man got knocked the fuck out cold. This is the other guy. Oh, shit. He pissed off Issei. This is where half the male students just kind of hide and cuddle. Mostly, they're all kind of in together. Like, please, don't hurt us. It was only him. Please, I swear to God, that was only his idea. This is where, well, mostly all of them are just scared shitless. These female students are kind of just confused. Mostly the newer female students. Even the female teacher. Some of the female students remember what Issei did to a bunch of male students, even female students, he didn't care one bit. His merciless eyes really did not care. Catherine and Moriyama are in that classroom, but this is where, well, they can see Issei is quite annoyed and ticked off. This is where, well, Issei just breathes out and just doesn't care. He grabs one of the balls that mostly are in the middle, grabs him, and what he does is literally just tosses so hard into the male students' faces, knocking each and all of them at once by just one ball. Ding, 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 ding. This is where all of them were knocked out. This is where Issei grabs the ball and just lands on the ground. This is where, well, it's all bloody and he just didn't care one fucking bit. He is now walking out of the classroom. No one should piss him ever off unless you want to die. But yeah, he just walks out of the classroom. This is where, well, mostly the female students are confusing new ones, even the teacher. This is where Catherine and Mariama switch ups. They weren't thinking that Issei was going to do something crazy like that. But yeah, he did it anyway and just didn't care too much. But we go into mostly Issei kind of... He's outside. Before he can even keep walking further, a magic spell was actually put around him. Mostly not a magic spell, but a magic dome. This is where he was confused. Trapment magic? What the hell is this? This is where he feels that it's actually the Grimoire who's actually doing this. Since he hasn't really spoken to Rias or any of the others, he feels like they're going to try to capture him. So that's what exactly is happening. Both Akano and both Akano and Ozzy are right now keeping a very strong barrier around him, just so they can wear him off, or mostly wear him down, until he passes out. This is where mostly Kaneko, Kiba, and Zenobia are there, just in case to kind of knock him out, if the barrier ever does shatter, or he manages to shatter it with his boosted gear or something like that. But this is where, well, mostly, Irina is there, but she's actually far away. She's actually near the school, mostly roof. But she's actually furious that the devils are doing something like this. Because she remembers she was kind of told by this, but she wasn't going to join in. She hated how mostly Rias is acting like. She's acting like a spoiled little brat. But yeah. But that shit did not stop Issei one bit. He looks at that barrier, pull out that worm. He did pull out the, what's it called? Mostly inventory worm. And this is where, well, 3 teachers just went outside just to look around, just to go find, well, mostly Skullfish wanted to go see what was that magic kind of powerful barrier, because she felt like something powerful. She thinks that it might be someone just trying to attack or something. She decides to hide behind the tree. This is where, well, it happens also with the Succubus Queen, and the last one being Estif. This is where, well, they all watch a barrier, and with some devils actually there, stopping someone. But this is where, well, the barrier itself was shattered. This is where, well, it was none other than Issei pulling out the inverted spear of heaven. He cut through the whole barrier in an instant, shattering it. This is where, well, he puts the mostly inverted spear of heaven into his, like, inventory. And then, mostly not inventory, mostly into the worm. And pull out the, what's it called, the sword called the Soul Splitter blade. This is where, well, he grins and then looks at the enemies that he's right now being attacked by. This is where Akano sends a powerful lightning strike from mostly the air that's made out of holy lightning to smash into Issei. Issei dodges out of the way. Sees Ozio right now kind of like healing and kind of, well, right now in the background, trying to kind of make sure to heal everyone from the far away background. Now, Azo actually did notice this because mostly he felt, what's it called, a powerful, like, holy lightning, which he came outside just to see what's happening. Sees Rias in the group kind of attacking Issei. This is where Issei dodges a swing from Kiba. Kiba was shocked. Issei managed to dodge that point blank and cut his fucking arm off in an instant. Issei did not let Kiba even fucking have 1 second before his arm was literally cut off of his, like, shoulder. This is where Kiba screams in pain. It's like, ah! This is where, well, mostly Zenobia tries to attack him from the air. Issei then sees this, and the blade was about to hit him before Issei catching it with his own hand. With his bare hands, he catches that blade. Zenobia was shocked, but this is where Koneko was upon Issei to try to attack him. Now, this is where Issei right now slams Zenobia into Koneko. This is where they kind of get slammed into a tree. This is where Kiba is trying to be healed by Ozia. But this is where Issei pulls out a gun and points it at Ozia. And this is where Ozia, she didn't have time to react. But this is where bullets start flying towards her. This is where Kiba managed to block him with his butt. And this is where he falls onto the ground. Issei says, ah, so annoying. Little bitch. This is where, well, Ozzy was scared shitless. She wasn't expecting Issei to actually shoot at her. This is where Issei then rushes at her, but this is where a destruction ball of magic was about to hit him. Until he summons out Maharaga. This is where, well, he took the attack, and this is where he just returned the rates easier. This is where, well, Maharaga right now growls at Mosi, well, Rias. This is where, well, right now Ozzy was shocked. This is where, well, mostly Maharaga was right now just able to take the destruction ball of magic. This is where everyone was shocked to see Maharaga just take that shit. This is where, well, mostly Issei then decides to kind of, well, mostly tell Maharaga to beat the shit out of Rias and make sure that she understands her fucking place in this world. This is where, well, mostly Issei sees Kaneko, or not Kaneko, Asuya, and fucking just knee her in the stomach so hard, knocking her out. She fell down the ground. Now, he didn't need to send that powerful knee. It was just a unnecessary attack, but he did not care. First of all, the little bitch fucking deserves what she was going to get. This is where, well, mostly Gasper was in the corner, and this is where he did use it to call his mostly evil eye to stop Maharaga from attacking Rias, but that didn't work at all. This is where Maharaga was upon Rias, punching her right in the face, launching her straight into multiple trees. This is where, well, mostly Gasper say, why didn't that work? This is where Maharaga turns around to see Gasper. This is where Maharaga starts walking to her menacingly. Gasper starts using this balance breaker. Stop! Why aren't you stopping? What the? This is where everyone saw how Gasper's eyes were not working against mostly Maharaga. This is where Maharaga right now made the blade, the exterminator blade, and this is where, well, mostly Gasper say, please stop! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to actually go get Issei. This is where Maharaga was actually so close to just killing what's it called Gasper. Rias say stop! This is where, well, a huge ball of destruction magic smashes upon mostly Gasper. This is where Issei right now sees that Maharaga was down for the count, which it looked like it. But it's actually what's it called? Surzex and Graceby appears. This is where, well, Surzex was actually called by mostly Azo because mostly how Rias and the group is actually attacking Issei. And Issei just did it out of defense. But it looks like Issei's taking this defense too far and would eliminate all of them at once. This is where, well, mostly, Surzex says, Issei Hiro. The name isn't even Hiro, it's Issei Fujigoro. This is where, well, mostly Gasper is hiding behind Surzex, just scared shitless because he wasn't expecting mostly Maharaga or even Issei to just try to kill him. He was expecting not to die. But the blade of the exterminator blade might be having a lot of what's it called reverse curse energy. It's since that blade that's what it's made out of. But reverse curse energy can literally kill devils. Since devils are made with negative emotions, and yeah, you get the point. But this is where, well, they're not made with negative emotions, but they have negative emotions. So yeah, they would have been extremely affected by the reverse curse energy blade. But this is where, well, we'll see. Surzex says, Issei Hiro, I tell you to stand down. As your double king, this is where Issei says, oh, shut the fuck up. Who do you think I am? A devil that serves the double king? Sorry, but I don't have my evil pieces. I don't even have my demonic energy. This is where Issei starts grinning like a madman. This is where, well, he's giving this like look of mostly Sukuna. He's just giving this smile. But yeah, he's giving out that smile towards Surzex and saying, who do you think I am? Someone to serve the Devil King? Issei kind of pulls out from the worm a box and just throws it upon Surzex's kind of legs, showing 8 evil pieces that are all bloody as hell. And Surzex winded his eyes. He wasn't expecting this. And Issei grins saying, do you think I am some idiot who dares follow a king? You think I'm just going to let someone rule me over? And that's complete bullshit. I'm not someone to serve anyone. Maharaga! Maharaga gets up. This is where, well, he's actually managed to regen fully, and this is where Maharaga growls at mostly Surzex. Surzex widened his eyes, because that bulb destruction was actually made of like 15% of his power, but he wasn't expecting that Maharaga would have taken it. Now Issei was surprised also because mostly, yeah, destruction magic just kind of hurt a lot. Now, he does know that Mahoraga needs to take time to actually adapt to that energy because it was this destruction, literal destruction. So, of course, mostly Issei just decided to take the wheel on top of Mahoraga's head. And this is where Mahoraga disappears. And this is where, well, mostly Issei gets ready for a fight. And this is where, well, he does also pull out his, like, inverted spirit of heaven and have it in his hand. This is where, well, he kind of glares at what's it called, Surge. He's going to put down this fucking super double down if he has to. This is where, well, mostly Issei right now are his eyes. Because, yes, he can take Mahoraga's will on top of his head and make it to be his own, just so he can adapt to the skills. This is where, well, mostly everyone was shocked that he actually can do something like that. But they don't know about mostly Mahoraga's special ability because Issei's not an idiot to tell them anything about that. But they can understand that he can adapt to things. But they don't know what that will can does. Even though that will is the reason why Mahoraga can adapt to things. But yeah. But since mostly Mahoraga already took in that attack, he can always adapt to the what's it called, attack if he has to need to. But this is where, well, mostly Issei kind of looks at mostly, well, Surge X, and this is where Surge X right now, like, looks at him. This is where, well, mostly Issei starts walking slowly to Surge X. Issei says, well, I'm gonna have to put down a double king, shouldn't I? This is where, well, mostly Issei starts walking towards Surge X. Now, there's actually some other double kings that are actually watching this, which is mostly Seraphon and even Najuka, but from far away. They're right next to Irina and even, what's it called, Michael is there. But this is where, well, they weren't actually expecting that Issei actually fucking get rid of his evil pieces to become normal human again. And if that's the case, if he done that during the battle between Sir Orcus and him, that just means that he beat the shit out of Sir Orcus with his normal human strength, which literally shows that he's more of a menace than any of them. This is where, well, mostly his Surge ignore his eyes, and this is where, well, Issei crushes the ground and rushes towards him at blinding speed. This is where, well, Surge sends a ball of destruction magic at Issei, but Issei cuts it down with the inverted spirit of heaven, rushing at him and throwing blades at him. This is where, well, right now Surge is shocked, but this is where he starts sending multiple destruction balls of magic. This is where, well, he starts destroying all the kind of, like, knives. This is where Issei rushes at him and was about to stab on him until Surge managed to jump out of the way. But this is where Surge decides to kind of get serious, and this is where he exploded into destruction magic around him. This is where, well, Ria's actually getting up slowly and seeing her brother get really serious. Now, there's actually quite powerful barriers around here to making sure the humans doesn't feel Surge's power. But this is where, well, Issei doesn't seem to even care. Destruction magic is actually hurting him, but this is where it's actually regenerating slowly. He's adapting to the MOC, the pressure and power from destruction magic. This is where, well, Surge 6 is now releasing a lot. He's right now at 85%. This is where, well, mostly Issei is going to push him to the max so he can actually adapt to this fucking destruction magic more. Issei starts shooting at him with bullets, but of course they didn't hurt at all. He does this where he pull out holy bullets and they didn't work at all neither. He says, fuck. Well, there's only one thing to do. This is where, well, he pulls out a kind of holy blade, which is none other than what's it called, the blade of, what's it called, the holy blade that he was given by mostly none other than Michael. That being, what's it called, Axelon? This is where, Axelot or whatever, Axelon. This is where, well, he rushes at Surge 6 with one of the blades, and right now tries to stab against Surge 6. Surge 6 managed to dodge, of course, cut a bit of his cheek, but this is where, well, since the destruction magic is still there, it's kind of destroying mostly Axelon a little bit more. Because even though destruction magic is, well, mostly literally just destruction magic, it can still destroy holy weapons, but yeah. This is where, well, you see right now scoff and throws the blade away. He wasn't expecting this, but of course, where, well, he kind of just sees that mostly all things that he does will literally not work against him. But he's seeing how he's adapted to the skill much easier. Thanks to the wheel actually keeps spinning around him. This is where, well, Issei grins and says, "Then I hope you won't mind me doing this." Boost! This is where, well, the boosted gear appears. This is where, well, Diedrich is finally awakened after mostly Issei unlocking the seals, and he was confused on what exactly is happening. It's a battle between Issei in his human form versus what Surge 6 in his destruction form. This is where, well, mostly Surge 6 now has eyes, and this is where, well, Issei kind of keeps boosting on to he like boost 10 times, sends a powerful dragon shot into Surge 6. Which he rushes through him and just shoots it at him, but this is where Surge 6 gets pushed back, and this is where, well, he's now at 99% of destruction magic. because he needed to add more, because that thing would have actually shot through him. For some reason, that thing was almost about to just pierce through his destruction magic, which is confusing. But this is where, well, Issei can see that he's able to now cut and destroy destruction magic with his own adaptation skills. He's seeing it much more clearer. He's grinning like a psychopath. This is where, well, mostly everyone is confused on what exactly is happening, and how is Issei able to do this. This is where, well, mostly Azo winds his eyes, now realizing what that will does. It's not just Maharaga's incredible strength to literally adapt to skills by just taking them, but it seems that that will on top of Issei's head is literally adapting to the point that he's able to adapt to destruction magic and pierce through it. But this is where, well, he is shocked. Him with the boosted gear and now this will literally makes him overpowered. But the blade that Issei still has hasn't actually been used. Maybe, but this is where, well, he remembers that that blade actually managed to cut through destruction magic, even if it was at a 15% weak kind of power attack. This is where, well, this is where Azo winds his eyes, realizing what that blade does now. He doesn't entirely know what it's called, but he can understand that that blade is the nullifying blade. This is where, well, that's all he can understand. It's probably a nullifying blade, but this blade, the inverted spear of heaven, is not a nullifying blade. But he does not know that. He just thinks it just nullifies any magic attack. But do not worry about that. This is where, well, mostly Issei right now looks at what's it called, Sursex. And this is where Sursex is right now kind of like narrowing his eyes. This is where, well, mostly he decides to release his 100% power. And this is where, well, an avatar of destruction, like figure actually appears. This is where, well, mostly Issei right now looks at him. And mostly this look of, okay, my body's actually being destroyed much faster. But I'm able to adapt to it. I'm adapting to every second about it. I need more. This is where, well, he actually realized that he can now adapt through it. Adapt through all the destruction magic is no longer hurting him. The will spins so fast to the point that he managed to adapt through it. This is where, well, he then noticed that the destruction magic isn't hurting him from this far point. But when he walks forward, it seems not to be hurting him. He walks forward and forward and forward. The closer he gets, the more potent the destruction magic is. But even though he walks forward, the destruction magic is hurting him by destroying his body but reforming him back again. It looks like Issei's able to adapt to it. And also he added, what's it called? He did summon out a cursed spirit that's actually using, sending right now, reverse cursed energy into his body. And that is none other than the, what's it called? This is where, well, mostly Issei is almost right in front of, well, mostly, Surgex. But the thing that he summons in the very far back, but no one can sense him, is called Chimera, or not Chimera, mostly the Round Deer. A Round Deer is basically allows him to send positive curse energy into his body to heal really fast. So even though he's adapting to the skill, positive curse energy is right now sending to his body to right now reverse the damage. So every time, he's reversing every damage. It's quite powerful. It's literally a powerful deer. This is where, well, and thanks to the fact that he did boost Chimera's deer mostly power by kind of sending a bit of the boosted gear's power inside it, but also kind of using something else, or someone else who was actually helping the deer, because Issei was not alone to fight mostly these people. He did call upon some people when he was in that dome, so yeah. So of course, mostly someone's hiding the presence of that deer. This is where, well, mostly Issei is right now in front of Sir Zex. This is where Sir Zex is shocked to see that Issei is adapted to it at all. This is where, well, Issei grins and says, well, look at that. Well, I wonder if you can actually survive my own thing that I'm gonna do. This is where, well, Issei puts both of his hands together, and this is where, well, he'd say, domain expansion. Chimera, well, mostly let me say that again. Chimera Shadow Garden. This is where a huge domain appears around both, well, mostly Issei and even what's it called, Sir Zex. Now, Sir Zex's destruction magic cannot affect this domain because literally it's adapted to it. This whole domain is adapted to the cursed energy flow with mostly Issei. So, of course, where, well, his destruction magic's kind of useless in here. This is where, well, Issei kind of grins. And this is where, well, he then kind of summons out multiple Maharagas. And this is where all of them are right now kind of adapted towards the call. Well, what's it called? Well, mostly, Sir Zex. Multiple Maharagas, multiple different types of shadow beings. And of course, also, like, mostly the round deers. But of course, this is where, well, mostly Surtex did not understand what was happening, but all he understand was all the attacks that he's getting taken on. Even though he right now launching his destruction magic towards some of the beings to destroy them, all those attacks that were being sent towards him were right now being actually hit directly. He was confused, even though he tried to dodge. All of them were 100% direct hit, direct hit, direct hit. He was confused even more. He understood that Issei is completely different. He's no longer the same weak prophetic kind of pervert. The same person that actually believes to fight for those that he loves. He's different. Literally different. This is where, well, Issei then lets go of the domain and sees right now Sursex doing his, what they call destruction magic. This is where Issei appears right in front of almost see Sursex. There was a bunch of like these little creatures of cursed spirits, and this is where, well, most see Sursex was about to just send a huge ball of destruction magic to push all of them away, which he did. But this is where Issei managed was in his guard. He stabs what's it called Sursex in the neck. This is where, well, with the inverted spirit of heaven right now canceling out his destruction magic instantly. This is where everyone wind their eyes, seeing Sursex just stabbed in the neck by, well, Issei. Issei grins and you think you can survive? That wasn't going to happen. You're a devil king, and when I take you out, who's going to stop me now? And this is where Issei takes out the blade and right now pulls out another blade and just stabs it upon Sursex and starts just stabbing upon him. This is where slamming him down to the ground. This is where, well, mostly a blade was stabbed into his head, but yeah. This is where, well, everyone was shocked, horrified, the fact that mostly Issei managed to take out a Devil King, and one of the most powerful ones out of everyone, being that of Sursex and Destruction Magic. Issei right now grins, laughing at mostly Rias. Rias, she wasn't expecting her older brother to be taken out this easily. Issei is on a different level of being a monster. He is not some normal human no longer. He is that beyond, but yeah. But for right now, I'll be leaving it off here for part 4 of this what if. Other than that, bye soon, yeah. But yeah, bye.